right. Good morning, everyone. This is the Judiciary Non-Civil Committee. I appreciate members' presence here this morning. It's an important bill. We've had some scheduling difficulties. I know the author had some challenges over the last couple of days. We're happy to see him here in good health, and he's been busy this session, but doing great work, and we personally appreciate that. We also, I know not many members here, but I appreciate those who were able to stick around late yesterday. That's not a habitual event for us, and that's by design, but every now and then we have to do that, and I appreciate members doing that. So we can get, I think we did some really good work yesterday, and I think it was time well spent. House Bill 299, Chairman Neal, the DNA analysis bill, we'll go ahead and throw it over to you, and then what we'll do, if you could give us an overview of the bill, okay. Hit the highlights. We'll probably go to one round of questions and then get to a motion.
Okay.
So you have the floor. Thank you.
I'll give you the cliff notes. Current law allows DNA samples to be obtained for convicted felons, whether incarcerated or probated, for a specific felonies of conviction. And what this bill does is strikes the language that identifies those specific crimes, and instead opens it up to where DNA samples will be taken on any convicted felon in the state of Georgia, regardless of what that felony conviction is. I believe that it's a very important step for us to take to continue to improve general public safety, community, the well-being of our community, the ability of law enforcement to investigate crimes and several other things. I think they're important aspects of the bill. That was the original intent of the bill that I introduced when I introduced House Bill 299. There have been a couple of amendments that have been brought to incorporate into this substitute. A couple of amendments from the criminal defense lawyers. One that and I apologize, I should have had those line numbers. Do you have the line numbers on those? Okay. One, two. What was it again? The criminal defense. Right. Okay. One of those amendments is an amendment that that addresses the need for post-conviction proceedings. I'm sorry.
It's all right. We can take 5 if that would be helpful.
Still feeling a little weak and foggy.
That's fine. We're in no rush, Mr. Chairman. So you just take your time. We're not going anywhere. So and if you feel the need to take a break, we can do that as well. We're fine.
I think I'll be okay.
All right.
I'm going to get Jill to. There's the two amendments on the from the criminal defense attorney that they brought, and then there was a number of things that Jill did to in relation to Chairman Willard's bill on the evidence code, to just make sure that the code sections are all lining up, and that's a pretty complex language that she brought forward for us there. But I'm going to get her, if she would, to talk about those.
Is that the section 4-1 on the last page, Ms. Travis? Is that what we're talking about?
It is. So that basically the setup of the bill is part 1 is the name of the act, and the two amendments that GACTA wanted. One of them was in 5-5-41, which is extraordinary motions for new trial.
And what line would that be on?
And that's on lines 25 through 28 on page 2. And what that does is, since Chairman Neal's bill is now we're collecting everybody's DNA, we're now expanding the ability to get to, instead of just restricting it to serious violent felonies, now it'll be all felonies. And in 1-3, which is lines 33 through 43, there's an amendment to maintaining the physical evidence, and you'll see again in there, now we're going to collect it for all felonies instead of just the felonies that are listed. Part 2 of the bill is Chairman Neal's bill, basically as it was introduced, revamped a little bit, keeping in mind some of the improvements we learned when we were doing Chairman Willard's bill in defining some more terms, like department and division, and then using those terms consistently. One of the advantages of Chairman Neal's bill is that he expands detention facilities to not only mean the Department of Corrections, but private facilities that are housing people for Department of Corrections, so that everybody is collecting this DNA. And then part 4 of the bill, which is on part 3 of the bill, which begins on page 8 at line 260. And here you'll see by the directory language, if House Bill 24 is enacted, either this year during this session or next session, we're taking into account that Chairman Neal's bill will take precedence over what Chairman Willard's bill did, because Chairman Willard's bill only replicated existing law, and Chairman Neal's bill is changing existing law with respect to increasing the felonies. And then part 4 of the bill is sort of a complex way of saying whoever gets to first controls, but no matter what, we still want the message brought forward by Chairman Neal's bill to become law.
Well, thank you for those. Those are important procedural steps. Considering the evidence bill that's going through the process right now. Are we, just a technical question to Ms. Travis? Are we sufficiently specific in saying HB 24?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the page 8 language where you see where it says.
I mean, does that need to be, I guess
Yes.
on line 260, does that need to be HB 24 of a particular year or of a particular term of the General Assembly? Or
If you see on line 263, enacted by House.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Board
Yep.
during the 2011-2012
Yep.
biennium.
Okay.
That language is again reflected on the last page of the bill.
Okay.
Line 416, only if House Bill 24 substantially revising evidence enacted during the 2011-2012 biennium.
Okay. But the bottom line to Chairman Neal and to Council as well is that what we're doing here is we're mandating the DNA analysis on all felony convictions. I mean, that is the crux of the bill. Okay. Let me get to we'll take a round of questions. Ms. Benfield.
Thank you.
And thank you for bringing this bill. I'm sorry you're feeling under the weather. Page 12, I just have a question. That's section 35-3-164, which designates a misdemeanor if the DNA information is disseminated. I'm just curious why that's needed. I just have a question about why. Is there a problem with people taking DNA?
It's actually current law. If you look at page 7, line 237 to 238, and the reason it's all underlined is
Yeah.
now we're in
Oh yeah.
the evidence code. But if you look at page 7, line 237, you're just mirroring existing law, but it has to all be underlined.
Okay. Can I still ask a question? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I'm just trying to.
But yeah, that's helpful. It's already law. But does anyone know? Is that why
Well,
does it need to be?
We have to allow for the possibility, right?
It just seems odd that somebody would be disseminating DNA evidence unlawfully. I'm just curious why it's in there.
The author can chime in anytime he wants to, but he's not under no duty to do so. I mean, it seems odd to me as well, but we have to provide for the possibility in the future. There are circumstances that I have a sense that we have no clue about. in the future, and we do well maybe to err on the side of caution.
Okay. I'm sure there was a reason at the time it was put in the law.
Mr. Bankhead, can you?
Can you?
It is an interesting question. I mean,
Put in the law at the request of the defense bar back in the 90s when
Ms. Michaels officially on the defensive.
this DNA dating device was created by General Singer.
Can you talk to can anyone talk to the intent of what it was at the time? It is an interesting question. If you can, and if you cannot, that's all right too.
I sort of, when Representative brought that up, I did have a vague recollection. In 1993, it was all brand new. Georgia has one of the premier DNA statutes in the country. We were one of the first to do it. And we didn't know that much about it then. I mean, the science has advanced tremendously in the last 10, 15 years. But there was this huge fear that people would be misusing people's DNA information. And I think there was a fear that people would be sending out, and I'm sure this was model legislation that we copied from the National Innocence Project. So I think we thought we were doing the right thing at the time, just to, in abundance of caution, that people weren't misusing people's private information, which continues to be a concern. So I'm sure this was model legislation from national.
You know, what is to be lost, what is to be gained? Do we have anything to lose by having that cautionary section? I would think not.
I don't believe so.
Okay.
People still have concerns about their private information.
Absolutely, and rightly so. Mr. Ramsey.
I just want to add to that. I mean, the science is evolving by the day to the purposes to which DNA can be used. Why wouldn't we want to protect its unlawful dissemination? It just makes perfect sense to me.
Thank you, Ms. Franklin. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Pack.
A quick question about that. Has anyone, though, ever, if there's been a unlawful dissemination of DNA evidence? I don't think that has ever happened. So I think it's pretty secure.
All right. Any further questions for the author? Mr. Bankhead, we've already. Oh, were you? Did you have anything else?
Just one.
Okay.
Final note, back on page 12 again, the other subsection 35-3-165 dealing with expungement. I just have a request that as this works through the process, there's also an expungement bill that passed out of this committee yesterday to make sure that the two bills are consistent in that expungement language. I know a lot of the same people are following both bills, so everyone seems fine with that. I just wanted to make sure that the expungement provisions of the two bills will mesh.
Thank you. I see no further questions for the author. Is there anyone else who'd like to be heard on House Bill 299? Mr. Bankhead, we've already. Did you have anything to add beyond what we've already interrogated you about?
Certified database, if there's any question about DNA, how we use it, and so forth, he's here to answer any questions.
From an implementation standpoint, is there any issues that?
No, the federal grant's already in place. That's why we support this particular effort to pay for it. So we're set with that. We can go with the way the bill's written now.
When you say the federal grant's already in place, is it poised for application up in the federal treasury, or has it already been applied for and is sitting comfortably here?
It's sitting comfortably here. We're already starting.
Even better.
A little bit of it right now.
On what? attached to this project.
Attached to come take to the federal process.
Great. Thank you so much. Anyone else? Seeing none, what's the pleasure of the committee? Move to pass by Mr. Ramsey of HB 299 by substitute LC 294710S, second by Mr. Pack. Is there any further discussion? Are there any amendments? Seeing none, all in favor of the gentleman's motion signify by saying aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and the motion is adopted. Thank you, Chairman Neal. And I would just, this has its best chance on a supplemental, if I had to take a guess, and I know those of us will be working toward that.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Hope you feel better.